Mr. Pollard. You're on mute. Nope.
Hello. Hello. Good.
How you doing?
Good evening, everybody. I'd just like to welcome everybody to the October 26th meeting for the City of South Fulton's Development Authority. Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Yes, good evening. This is the roll call for the Monday, October 26th meeting of the Development Authority. Chairman Mark Baker.
Present.
Vice Chairman Jamal Grooms.
Present.
Secretary Treasurer Arnold Jiggetts.
Present.
Director Alicia Ivey.
Present.
Director Mercedes Miller.
Present.
Director Andrew Pierson.
Present.
Director Derek Pollard.
Here.
And Director Rick Ross.
Present.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Is our attorney present?
She is not present as yet, no.
Okay. All right. Mr. Clerk, please call the first item.
Okay, the first item is approval of the meeting agenda.
I move that we accept the meeting agenda as printed.
Second.
Actually,
Ivey.
I have discussion. I have discussion because I spoke with our Development Authority attorney prior to the meeting, and we may have to make an amendment to our regular meeting agenda. It was brought to my attention that we have to, in this meeting, according to our bylaws, either we have to address our officers, given that this is an even year. And last year when we established, it was already in our bylaws that that we would select officers on even years. So I think I see Madam Attorney on now. Can you speak to how we would address that? I believe we would have to amend the regular meeting agenda, correct, Madam Attorney?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so I would, if possible, I know we're in discussion, if the maker of the motion is willing to make a friendly amendment to include, what would it be called, Madam Attorney?
It would be consideration of officer appointments for pursuant to the bylaws.
So I move that we amend the agenda pursuant of the consideration of officer appointment to the bylaws.
By the bylaws.
By the bylaws.
Is there a second?
Second. Ivey.
Now, Mr. Clerk,
Yes, sir.
it's been probably moved in second, but I don't think we did that properly because we were in the middle of discussion. But given that he rescinded his motion, is that okay for us to continue in that fashion?
Well, my understanding is he made a friendly amendment to the main motion, and as long as the maker of the motion accepts that amendment with the attorney's concurrence, I believe it's in order.
Thank you.
Yeah,
just
and
wanted to
I
make sure.
agree with that too.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to check for clarity. I appreciate it. Now that we do have that clarity, any further discussion? Hearing
None.
none, all those in favor, Mr. Clerk, please get a consensus.
Yes, this is the roll call vote for a motion by Director Grooms, seconded by Director Ivey, to approve the meeting agenda with a friendly amendment for consideration of officer appointments pursuant to the bylaws. Chairman Baker.
Aye.
Vice Chairman Grooms.
Aye.
Secretary Treasurer Jiggetts.
Aye.
Director Ivey. Director Miller.
Aye.
Director Pierson.
Aye.
Director Pollard.
Yes.
Director Ross.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, that motion was approved.
Thank you, sir. Sound the next item, please.
Next item is approval of the September 28th, 2020 Development Authority regular meeting minutes and the October 2nd, 2020 emergency special call meeting minutes.
I'll entertain a motion to accept those 2 minutes.
I motion. Mercedes Miller.
Is there a second?
I second Andrew Pierson.
Probably moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Clerk, please call a consensus vote.
Roll call vote. Chairman Baker,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Grooms,
Aye.
Secretary Treasurer Jiggetts,
Aye.
Director Ivey,
Aye.
Director Miller,
Aye.
Director Pierson,
Aye.
Director Pollard,
Aye.
Director Ross.
Aye.
Chairman, that motion was approved.
Receive thanks. Mr. Clerk, please sound the next item.
The next item is public comment. As of the start of this meeting, the clerk's office was not in receipt of any public comment for the meeting.
Receive thanks. Sound the next item.
Mr. Chairman, did you want to handle the officer appointments at this time or move towards the bond inducement application?
I think that if we added it to the agenda, it should be taken up at the end.
Okay. Next item is discussion, bond inducement application, proposed 27,000 square foot comprehensive health and medical center located at Bigfoot Trail and Old National Highway. Dr. Paul McKoy.
Dr. McKoy, you on? I think you're on.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, you have the floor.
I'm here.
So after,
Is Doug there? Yes, okay, he's there.
Okay. All right, hold on.
So we submitted a bond.
I'm sorry, excuse me, who's speaking?
This is Karina and Dr. McKoy.
Okay.
Yeah, we're here.
So Mark says we have the floor.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, good afternoon, everyone. I appreciate you all giving us an opportunity to speak with you again today. We're wanted to discuss with you all in reference to some incentives that would help us with the process of helping us with what we're trying to do in a way of a tax incentive that would give us an opportunity to have some tax savings to help us propel the business toward where we're ultimately trying to be. So that's
as we grow.
As we grow, of course. And
Okay.
so, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that, with the disparities in the area, and ironically, this weekend, I actually went out and looked. I drove all the way down Old National 3 or 4 times, and there's only about 5 medical providers completely on the whole street. There's one OB, I think maybe one OBGYN, two dental offices, a pediatrician, and a urgent care. So it was very, very little. So, this would definitely help us tremendously in the process of securing new tenants in the facility, being able to make sure we keep the tax base low, because obviously typically that will be some of that burden is placed on the tenants. So us having that ability to have some tax incentive to kind of help us offset the cost of startup, which is, of course, is very expensive, as you all would know. It would definitely be helpful if we could get some kind of help in regards to that. That will definitely be beneficial to us in our endeavor.
Receive. Madam Attorney, I'm sorry, Ms. Karina, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No.
Okay. Madam Attorney, I see we have the city's financial advisors on board today, as well as Mr. Doug Selby. Can you speak to the application? I know that I believe Dr. McKoy has already submitted, correct?
Yes, he has submitted the application, and I've forwarded that application to the board. So basically what we're dealing here is with a request for a temporary reduction in taxes. And these are typical given to businesses, just, to incentivize and to just give a credit to local businesses that come in that you deem eligible for that credit. Now, we do have Ed Wall, who is serving as the authority's financial advisor, as well as Doug Selby, who we are presenting for bond counsel for the transaction. I think today we would like to explain the interest in property that the development authority may or may not acquire through this transaction, as far as the authority acquiring a temporary interest so that we are eligible to abate the taxes for whatever period of abatement is offered. If the board is inclined, if we can go into executive session, I think I know that Ed Wall has graciously run some numbers and some options, and I've discussed those options with Doug Selby as well. And if you'd like to talk about those in executive session, I think you can be able to give Dr. McKoy a better understanding of what the board's position or temperament may be for this transaction.
Received. With that being said, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to enter into executive session regarding what would possibly be real estate.
I move that we go into executive session for real estate.
I'll second. Mercedes.
Probably move in second. Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Clerk, please take consensus.
This is a motion to go into executive session for real estate. Roll call vote. Chairman Baker,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Grooms,
Aye.
Secretary Treasurer Jiggetts,
Aye.
Director Ivey.
Aye.
Director Miller,
Aye.
Director Pierson,
Aye.
Director Pollard,
Aye.
Director Ross.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, that motion was approved. And for the record, you want Mr. Selby, Mr. Wall, and did you want Dr. McKoy in the executive session as well?
No, Dr. McKoy is gonna have to sit this one out
Okay.
till we come right back in.
Okay.
Thanks.
Mr. Chairman, I believe everyone is back in the main room.
Thanks. I'll entertain a motion to reconvene.
I move that we reconvene.
I'll second.
Probably move in second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Clerk?
Motion to reconvene, roll call vote. Chairman Baker,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Grooms,
Here.
Secretary Treasurer Jiggetts,
Here.
Director Ivey,
Present.
Director Miller,
Here.
Director Pierson,
Present.
Director Pollard,
Here.
Director Ross.
Here.
Chairman, we're back in session, 7:08 p.m.
Copy, thanks. Will we now move forward based off any actions as a result of executive session? I'll entertain any motions or direct.
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
You acknowledge Director Pierce.
I move that we authorize bond counsel Doug Selby and our attorney to proceed with final bond documentation on the bond application at our next meeting, should the developer wish to move forward.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Clerk, please take a consensus.
Chairman Baker,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Grooms,
Aye.
Secretary Treasurer Jiggetts,
Yes.
Director Ivey,
Aye.
Director Miller,
Nay.
Director Pierson,
Aye.
Director Pollard,
Abstain.
Director Ross.
Aye.
That motion was approved, 6-1-1.
Receive. Mr. Clerk, you can call the next item.
Next item. Consideration of officer appointments pursuant to the South Fulton Development Authority bylaws.
Madam Attorney, can you bring us up to speed?
Yes, so your bylaws state that each October, well, actually the October of every even year, that you will consider your appointments, the offices under your bylaws, and that includes the chairperson, the vice chairperson, and the secretary and treasurer. Currently, we have 4 people who are holding those positions. Since we have but since those appointments have not been that long ago, due to the somewhat recent establishment of your bylaws, you have 2 options that come to mind. And the first option is you can confirm that the persons who you have appointed will remain until the next time for appointment, or if there are any persons present who may want to nominate themselves for a particular position, then the motion can instead be to allow persons who wish to nominate themselves to just make a speech, or just give a statement tonight, and then you vote after those statements.
And also, I think the part that you missed out is if anyone wanted to nominate someone else.
Yes, so it would be self-nomination, or you can nominate someone else.
Copy. Okay, at this time, you said there were 4 positions held by 4 different people. I think we determined at our last year's meeting around this time, when we accepted the bylaws, that we combined that position of secretary treasurer. Is that correct?
I believe you split it out. I'd have to look at the meeting minutes, but I guess if tonight, I thought that Director Jiggetts was the treasurer, and I think you appointed one of the other directors as the secretary, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and then I believe we came back and Director Jiggetts became
Correct.
both secretary treasurer because of I don't remember the details, but I do remember that the combining the roles because they kind of went together.
That's my recollection as well, and I can try to pull up the minutes while you're discussing it as well.
And if you look at the notice too, I adjusted the notice to reflect what happened at the meeting. So I think if the notice indicates, if you give me 1 second, I can pull up the notice too.
Okay, while we're waiting, we can continue on and you can just advise when we get there. As far as the chairman position goes, at this time, I'll accept any, I guess it would be a motion to keep the same chairperson or a nomination of a different chair or a self-nomination. The floor is open.
If no one has any challenge, I just move that we stay with what we have and keep the same chairperson.
Well, so would be subject to reappointment. And I do show, my records do show that Arnold, Director Jiggetts, is currently holding the secretary and treasurer position. So it's secretary treasurer. So I do agree with your recollection.
So was that a proper motion?
I believe so.
Okay. I'm sorry, sir.
Would it be, I have a question. Can I ask a question?
Okay, well, let's find out if that was a proper motion or not, because I said, if no one has any, Madam Attorney, or?
So the motion is proper. However, if you don't word it to include all the appointments versus just the chairman, then you'll have to make 3 motions. So make it easier.
Correct, right.
So let me amend that. I move that stay with all the current appointee positions, given that they're all expiring next year anyway. So that's my motion. I move that we stay with the appointed positions that are in place.
Well, actually, it's a 2-year. So I just want to make sure that you're aware of that. Okay.
So question, well, no, I just.
Okay, there wasn't a sec, is there a second?
Second motion.
Okay, probably moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Clerk, please take a consensus.
This roll call vote. Chairman Baker.
Aye.
Vice Chairman Grooms.
Aye.
Secretary Treasurer Jiggetts.
Yes.
Director Ivey.
Yes.
Director Miller.
Yes.
Director Pierson.
Aye.
Director Pollard.
Yes.
Director Ross.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, that motion is approved unanimously.
Okay, received. You can sign the next item.
Mr. Chairman, that completes our meeting agenda for this October 26th Development Authority meeting.
Okay, because we only have meetings once a month, and I know everybody wants to wrap up, I still want to ask Madam Attorney, is there anything that we need to discuss regarding personnel or litigation or anything else that you may have?
No, I don't have anything at this time.
Okay, well, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move that we adjourn this meeting.
I'll second.
Then probably moving second. Any discussion?
Yes, I have discussion.
Director Jiggetts?
I would like to encourage my colleagues that between now and our next meeting, that we take some time to consider what we want the personality of this development authority to be and bring that back to us. We had conversations regarding that whole process. I want to move forward because we have a role here to service the community, and we need to be completely clear about what that role is and how we're going to service the community. I'm here to act and be impactful to the community, and I'm sure that we all are in the best, right, and smart ways. So I just want us to take some time individually to consider what that looks like. You know, look at other examples, do whatever you have to do, but let's invest some time in understanding what our role is as directors to this board, what the development authority's role is to the city, and how we can be impactful to it.
Received. Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Clerk, please take a vote.
Roll call vote for adjournment. Chairman Baker,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Grooms,
Aye.
Secretary Treasurer Jiggetts,
Yes.
Director Ivey,
Aye.
Director Miller,
Aye.
Director Pierson,
Aye.
Director Pollard,
Yes.
Director Ross.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman and Directors of the Development Authority, this meeting is adjourned at 7:19 p.m. Thank you so much for your attendance.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Thank you, Mr. Selby and Ed Wall, as well as our attorney and Frank for logging on. Everybody, please go vote. We probably won't vote before we see each other. Please go vote. Please take somebody.
Already done?
Yeah, let's get it done.
Sir.
All right. Y'all take care.
Already done.
Have a good night. Thanks,
night.
everyone.